Hello there. Welcome to Fate Mag Radio, the online voice of Fate Magazine. I am Kat Hobson, your host, and I am so glad to be able to welcome you tonight. I have two people coming in with me who I think are just really special. They are Jay and Teresa Lynch. They are fabulous humans. They are paranormal podcast hosts. Um, they are cryptid hunters as well as ghost hunters. They are just some of the most civic minded people I know. They support so many venues and some of the ones that I love a whole lot too. I am going to let them just go ahead and continue to let you learn about them. And I want to welcome them. Hello, Jay. Hello, Teresa.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Great. How are y'all?
How have you been? We haven't seen you in forever.
I know.
It has been forever. I am just really so glad to see you. I'm doing great. I'm about to have a dog explosion because my husband has just gotten home. And so that's going to be a thing.
That's cool.
I understand that. We have two, so we get that.
Well, this is only one that barks. Believe it or not, that's one dog. So hopefully he's coming in the door. And I will beat him later.
Oh, no problem at all.
Not an issue.
But
Not
anyway, well, that is my little mini Aussie. They're all rescues. And, I have two now. So, I just wouldn't trade them for anything except for moments like that. But
we got two.
Rescues are the best dogs.
Both of ours rescued us.
I know, right? Well, we had lost all but one dog. And so we started looking for some place to rescue, and we found a true rescue. And there were no alternatives, basically. And we went, and it was basically a pony. They said he was an Aussie Collie mix. He's actually a Golden Aussie. And so his name is Wally. We call him Wally the Collie, although he's really not a collie.
That's funny.
But anyway, so he's our most recent rescue. And I wouldn't trade him for anything.
No.
Except, when things like that happen. And
yeah, it's such a minor thing. It's no big deal.
Well, it's really not, because that's his way of protecting me and just sounding the alarm. And, sometimes his dad can be a little alarming, so that's okay.
When I worked from home I worked for a call center. And when, heaven forbid, Amazon comes and leaves a package on the front deck, then they are going to let me know somebody was there. And they don't care if I was on a phone call or not.
No, they don't.
No, but they're doing their job by protecting you and notifying you that somebody was there.
Absolutely. And it's really indiscriminate. They don't care who it is.
No.
So I'm going to know about it.
And they almost get louder if they know you.
Because they're excited.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They get excited as all get out.
Yeah. But anyway, so and that is Tipper, by the way. So yes, we are well protected here in this house. But I am so really excited to have y'all on, because like you were saying, it's been such a long time.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
probably a year or two before COVID.
I was going to say, I think it was pre-COVID.
It was pre-COVID.
It was. Yeah.
And we actually met at Ashmore when Rick was there and everything. And, I'd come up. And I tell you, I've been there twice now. I love that place. And Robin has come here to investigate sloths. So it's always fun when you get to see people and be around them, especially people that you like, even before you get to meet them.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. You guys couldn't hear the dog squeaking its toy at our feet, could you?
No.
I did. That's why I looked around like, what the heck? I'm like, what the hell?
Well, these are now, Dad's in the house, everything's smooth. So now they're asleep, because that's what they do, because they're dogs.
Oh, yeah.
But it's funny because when I have activity in the house, they know it. So they don't bark. They just watch, because they're kind of like not sure that they should be scared, or just really, turn into the complete, bad butts that they are, or what's going on. But it's funny because I do get some activity here.
That's awesome.
We get it occasionally. Not as much as you would think, considering how many places that we've investigated, how many places we've been to. And we don't, as a general rule, do the protection,
I definitely don't.
No, you don't.
Well, I do use protection, but I also try to just mainly say, look, guys, I need to have some ground rules. And sometimes they respect that. Sometimes they don't. Depends on the character of the spirit you're dealing with.
We used the first location we ever investigated, we ended up moving into about 6 months later. And it was, I was told that we had to place ground rules and like tell them, you can't bother us when we're sleeping. We have physical bodies. We have to rest, this, that, and the other. And we did that. So I didn't have any issues. Occasionally we would, but not too bad.
Well, the sleeping is a big deal for me.
Is it?
I'm like, no, not now. I've had something give me dreams. And and because I have precognition, so dreams are a real thing for me as a rule. And so when I get something that I feel like is kind of alarming, it really kind of like, oh no. So that we had to kind of set rules about. It was like, don't need to see, and no death states. I don't like death states. I don't want those.
Right.
And that's pretty much the equivalent, all of my rules. No death states. Don't bother me when I'm sleeping. And don't scare my dog.
So you can't come to the bedroom when we're sleeping. And Jay made the rule that they cannot come in the shower.
Or don't come in the bathroom or shower. Because if you laugh, I'm going to blow up the house. Don't be picking on an old fat man like that. That's just mean. Leave me alone.
Okay, now I just completely lost it. So
well, you know how I am.
I do know how you are. It may have been a while, but I do know how you are.
I was going to say, you know better.
Oops.
Well, the thing is I can just envision that conversation in your bathroom.
Oh,
right. It was a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it.
This place is off limits. No bedroom, no bathroom. Leave me alone.
Yeah. It's a real thing.
We got Ghost Magnet Michelle in there. Hello.
What's up, Michelle?
Hello.
So I miss
her. Kudo and Skeptical Edge. Oh, she is such a sweetheart.
She is a sweetheart. And, she's one of the kindest people I've ever had the opportunity to have conversations with. I really respect her. And she really is a ghost magnet.
I have to like her because she actually likes me.
Well, yeah, when she loves you, she does not let go. She's just that girl.
Right.
But we've got Denise in chat also, and Heidi Ho Neighborette, and we've got Lorraine, who is actually Lori Dorsey. She is my partner in crime. So travel buddy, she's in Ohio, but we meet around. Well, now we meet around the world to go investigate. We've been to Scotland twice. We're going to Ireland next year. But we've been to Savannah together. We've been to Atlanta. We've been to Old South Pittsburgh, which was cool because she'd never been there.
It's a cool place.
And it is a cool place. Oh my gosh. The difference between before and after. Ronnie
We haven't been there after.
Oh my gosh. It's so safe and clean and beautiful. And
really?
Yes. And he has a second one. So we should just meet there.
Don't threaten me with fun.
Hey, I'm threatening you with a good time.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
But because
I'll do it.
The right place. Well, let's do it, and let's do both of them.
Heck yeah! Okay. Don't threaten me with fun.
Yeah,
bring some friends. We'll have a good time.
And I bet Denise would drive up from Pensacola for that.
She just might
bring some friends. We'll have a good time. I dare you.
Yeah, yeah, girl, you're coming. And Lori will drive down from Ohio. We're just going to have all kinds of fun.
Well, we're coming down from Ohio too.
We're coming from Ohio too.
Yeah. Well, she is in Bellefontaine.
Okay.
I think is the name of it.
About 45 minutes north of us.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No. No, not at all.
If it's the summer, she'll be on her trike, but
I don't blame her. If I had one, I would too.
she's a biker girl.
They don't let me do that anymore. Too much medical shit here lately with the heart and now the brain, and I'm just impressed that I had either one of them. I didn't know I had them. Son of a bitch.
Well, I knew you had a heart. The brain has
I didn't.
always been a little bit, questionable, but I know how you love that one. So
They
I
Sure.
do
did.
know
They
about your
did
heart.
show me proof of both.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you knew about the heart too. I might have,
Yeah.
husband, you might have questioned the other.
Yeah, right.
No, you're
38
a
years,
smart
she ain't killed me
dude.
yet.
You're a smart dude. So
I
everybody
try not to
knows.
be one.
Well-
I try not to be one. They make me do it. I want to have fun.
Well, you do have fun.
Oh, yeah.
You can be smart and have a good time.
I get in
Yeah.
trouble with that a lot. I've argued with some people about that in the past. Like, there's no fun in investigating. And I'm like, I would agree with you if you're in someone's home or
You have to behave.
or business.
Right.
Well, not just
Right.
behave, but
Be
you
respectful.
have to maintain a certain level. And I'm going to use this word, even though there are no professional paranormal investigators. You have to maintain some semblance of professionalism
Yes.
on a business level. You must.
They expect you. I mean, because if somebody has called you into their home, and I know this is where you're going with that,
Show.
it's and Skeptical Edge TV is here. So
That's
hi.
Joe Kudo with Kudo's Custom Creations, also the one of the other co-founders of Dark Realm TV. Oh,
Yes. Well, I am really so tickled that you use the word professionalism, because we are not professionals. And yet
No.
when somebody invites you into their home because they're afraid, you are the professional, whether you call yourself that or not.
no, you must
And if
maintain a professionalism about yourself. I agree
yes.
with that 100%.
They called
Absolutely.
somebody for help.
Yes.
But
But
my thing always about it is I know that I'm going into a home where there are people who have issues, they're afraid, they're scared, or whatever, especially there's children.
Yes.
I know that humor and coming in from a different approach and lightens up the mood, and it gets them to relax and feel more comfortable with you. And they usually tend to open up and tell you more than what they would tell you any other way. Because
Absolutely.
now
They do.
you've now developed an emotional bond with them. You've really gave them that ability to feel at ease and to feel more comfortable with you and solve your personality and to be able to relax a little bit. And it changes the dynamics of your relationship with them completely. Instead of coming in being completely professional, we're all going to do this by the book, and we're going to be real serious.
Yeah.
Real serious can, especially with children, real serious will scare them even more.
that's true.
It does, because if you're taking it this seriously, then oh my God, it must be so bad.
Right. Right.
I get that. Yeah.
Your job is to first put the family at ease and get them to
Yes.
open up to you, because and once they puts them at ease and relax, they will talk to you so much. They will talk to you differently. And if you're just coming
And
out
they'll follow
like
you through the house.
right, and they will work with you. You will give them that security to feel comfortable enough to stay with you while you investigate the home. Because I always make them stay with me. I always want to stay because I want to be left alone in somebody's house in case they say I stole something.
Because you're scared, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. But
Terrified. Terrified.
But we're there to help make them feel comfortable in their home. And how can I make them feel
Exactly.
comfortable in their home if I have them leave their home? That makes no sense to me. So we've always done it this way.
Well,
This has always
also,
been the approach that I've taken.
if you're going through the house and they're not with you, they've described the activity to you, but they're going to recognize it on the spot. They're going to know that's not the ice maker, that's not the heater,
Right.
that's not
Right.
the AC kicking in.
Which saves me a lot and you a lot of time.
Yes.
We don't have to
Even
go
though I'm marking
debunk
that
it.
on my evidence tape, I'm still, it's helpful because
Right.
I can just blow by that. And anytime I hear it after that.
Right.
So,
It's
but
extremely beneficial to help you help them.
Yeah.
It's a hand-in-hand thing.
it is. And it gives them peace
It's nice.
and
I've never
ownership.
been on her
It gives
show.
them ownership of the situation.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
they
a
need
big
to
deal.
take ownership of it. If there's something there, they're going to get rid of it.
Yes.
They're the
Or
ones gonna
they're
live
going to
there,
know what
not
it
me.
is.
Yeah.
Because you can't get rid of everything.
Sometimes you have to learn to live with it.
Well,
But-
you do,
but
but you have
my-
to find a way to live with it.
That's true.
But in all the years we've been doing this for 15, 16 years now, we've never come across anything evil.
Me
Maybe
either.
a little grumpy.
Grumpy.
No, I've never
Grumpy.
come across evil.
Yeah.
Not even evil. Demonic, absolutely not. Nowhere near.
I
mean,
haven't had demonic. I have
Yeah.
had somebody who sent something to me who did I did have to get Frank Lee to help me cleanse my home. So,
Frank's a
which
great
let me
guy.
tell you, that was an act. It was hilarious because he saw something I didn't. He's an unbeliever. I'm kind of an unbeliever, but he
That's
saw
the right
it.
way to be.
He saw it. And
Oh,
he went
wow.
very quiet and very not doing his job part of what we were doing. And I'm like, Frank, you're supposed to be spraying the holy water. And you need to say amen when I say amen, you know. So,
Right.
but it wasn't that he was afraid. He was disconcerted because he was not a believer in this situation.
And then he
And y'all
saw.
know him well. Y'all know him well.
Oh
He
yeah,
is
Frank's a
such
great
an
guy.
analytical human. He is a great guy, but he's so analytical and he's so brilliant. And he was just kind of taken aback. And he didn't tell me what he saw until we got through. And we were on the phone with Kevin and Jennifer Malik, who Jennifer had talked me through what I was needing to do. So we were doing kind of a post game meeting kind of thing. And that's when Frank said what he saw. And I was like, you couldn't tell me that? He said, not at the moment. No. I was like,
Never had
okay.
words to tell you either.
He did. I don't think he did because, you know,
Yeah.
when we were doing the post game recap thing, he was like, it was like a dude in a black morph suit. It's like,
That's
I don't
weird.
have a dude in the, I mean, I have an alien, but I don't have a dude in a black morph suit. Never have, never will, because
Right.
now I know what that looks like. But, you know, it was just one of those things that, and for him, for that person to be the one saying that, that is somebody that I would, if you told me that the sky was purple today, I would take it to the bank. I mean, that's a honest, upstanding human
Absolutely.
and a
Yeah, he
skeptic,
is.
a healthy skeptic.
And the best way to be if you're going to be a paranormal investigator, in my opinion, you have to maintain some form of healthy skepticism about you
Yes.
because everything isn't something, and we've seen that.
And
Right.
very few things are, you know, going to be bad guys.
Right.
They're just humans. Sometimes they're pissed off humans
Right.
or just
They're grumpy.
disgruntled. Yeah. I mean, they're dead. Hello.
Right.
I did not
Right.
anticipate having a good time there.
It's,
So,
you know, sometimes when we're investigating and I'll be getting stuff in and like I know for a flat out fact what I either heard or saw as a medium. But I'll mention something and he'll say, well, you know, maybe it was no. If I heard it with my ear, I would have
right.
said okay. But I didn't. So, but we've investigated so frequently, so much together every time that if I say something, he'll say, "How did you hear it?" And then he'll know. You know, if I
Okay.
hear it psychically, then no, it's not something that's going to be the ice maker or the refrigerator kicking on or something like that. It was actually what I heard.
Hmm. I haven't really thought of it that way because I always just call I have a knowing, but that's kind of what that is,
Mhm.
you know, and like I will just be getting that. And I'm a sensitive. I don't consider myself a psychic because I can't turn it on and off. But when it's on, it's on.
Right.
And that's kind of a freaky thing to happen, you know, when
Yeah.
you don't think. But I've always known.
I had to learn to turn mine off.
How do you do that?
The way that I was taught
Oh,
was that like when I was so sick back in January and I was in the hospital,
Hmm.
if you're a psychic medium, the hospital is not the place you want to be.
No,
I watched
kind
a
of-
gentleman walk out of a closet across the hall.
I'm
and
just trying to figure out
started
when you
across
ever
my
want to be in the
bed.
hospital.
When I what?
When does anyone ever want to be?
Well-
Oh, I really want to go to the hospital.
Walk across my bed and out the door, and he was a spirit, and I was like, I'm too sick for this. I can't deal with this, so I turned it off.
right.
But what I did is it's a light switch.
Okay.
I just flip it off. Or if you just want to tone it down some, you can pretend it's a dimmer and just turn it down some.
I can't afford to get any dimmer.
I know, you're a dimwit.
She doesn't turn you down though.
No. Yes, she does. I mean,
No.
Oh,
But
please.
that's how I was taught to do it.
Okay.
Was turn it off
Well,
and on,
I've been-
and then you can do it at your will.
Well, I've been told about the switch, but I haven't found. And like I said, I'm not psychic. I mean, Denise is psychic. You're psychic. I'm sensitive. There's a
Right.
big difference, but
And there's a
sometimes it's
difference.
stronger than others depending on what's around me.
Right.
And it depends on, where I am too, like emotionally and
Mhm.
such.
well,
But-
but see, I'm gonna say I'm not on any of these things, but I observe a lot,
Mhm.
and even with sensitive psychics, it doesn't matter. Depending on where your emotions are at on all of you, it does affect how your readings come through, anything like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely does affect it whatsoever. Where your headspace is at, whether you guys have cleansed yourself, whether you guys have cleared your mind. If you don't go like that, then your readings are totally different. You can go in a room and read it one way, go back out, do a little bit of grounding, stuff like that, come back in and completely different. And I've noticed that big time about y'all.
Well, that's pretty true. But also,
Clapper.
Joe says, get the chopper.
Clapper.
It is so much easier. So, okay, I like Joe.
Oh, he's
Oh,
a good
yes.
guy.
But,
It's his
you
fault
know-
that I'm involved in the paranormal. Him and Teresa's.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Joe was
Well,
at
tell
our
me about
first-
Joe.
The first time we went paranormal investigating, I took Teresa and my niece to post elementary school for an open investigation. We had never been. I wasn't skeptic. I was dismissive. Had no belief in it whatsoever.
Oh, say skeptic is not even what you were.
Thought it was all just bullshit. Didn't care.
Okay.
Wasn't concerned about it. Met Joe Kudo and Brian Hensley that night, and Joe and Brian sat there till 7:30, 8 o'clock the next morning, talk with me all night long about this stuff, different theories, different ideas. And Brian said something to me that totally flipped everything in my mind, because I always hunt, fished, and farmed. I grew up on the outdoors and stuff like that. And Brian goes, "Okay, so you go fishing. You fish all day long. You don't catch anything." I'm like, "It's happened a lot of times." He goes, "So the fish don't exist." And that simplistic form of putting it made my mind flip the other way to realize that it wasn't the fact that something was there or not there. It was the fact that my mind was dismissing it like it didn't exist or wasn't important enough to even acknowledge. And that wasn't anything about the paranormal, wasn't anything about the world around me. That was all about my own arrogance.
Well, the point being that if you didn't believe the fish were there, you wouldn't be wetting the hook. So you'd be
Right.
missing out totally.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It showed it wasn't nothing but my own arrogance. Nothing else involved. Had nothing to do with what was or is or isn't there, whether I believed or didn't believe. That was just sheer narrow-minded arrogance. And being that I've always been somebody that enjoys science and things like that, I really started delving into it. I met people like Callie Sherrill and stuff and started delving into the whole quantum physics of it, which in a lot of ways is way over my head, but I love to learn.
But
And-
it's cool though, right?
Right.
Quantum
And that's what
is such, there's so much there.
but that's just it. That this is a field that has absolutely no proven barriers to right now.
Nope.
So you're only limited by your own restrictions of your own fears, beliefs, religion, and
Yes.
imagination. Restricts you. The paranormal and the universe doesn't restrict you. You restrict you. And that's what
Yes.
I've learned. So I've just went hog wild with it and I have no limits. When we investigate, everybody talks about shielding, all that stuff. I go and I say the same thing everywhere we go. I don't care where we go. Mansfield Prison, Ashmore
Yeah.
Estates, wherever. You can hit me, kick me, push me, scratch me, channel through me, or possess me if you think you can. In 15 years, nothing's ever happened.
I told him, I said, one of these days you're going to do that. And it's going to be something that I can't clean up.
But some people.
I do.
Right. We know enough people.
Speak
And
up.
I,
There's
and
people
I,
out
and I,
there.
and I
So-
trust enough people. I've learned to trust enough people and
Yes.
to develop those bonds and to network. That's the biggest thing I tell people all the time. First getting into the field, when we first meet them, network, meet people, learn people. You'll learn something. Teresa says all the time, you learn something from everybody you meet. Either it's going to be something you like or something you don't like and don't want to do.
It's true.
But you still learn a lesson. Either way, you still learn something. You take something from it every single time.
I love when we worked at Post Town and we did the open investigations. And I liked the people that were
No, Joe.
newbies. I enjoyed that because they have fresh eyes. They're not tainted. They haven't been told, no, you're just
Yeah.
that orb is actually dust. They haven't been told that, and they have excitement. They have a different way of looking at things.
Yes.
And I'll tell them, investigate with as many people as you can. Don't limit yourself,
Absolutely.
because you will learn something from each person that you come in contact with, including somebody that's been in the field for a long time. They're learning from you.
I learn all
may
the
be
time.
Absolutely. But it may be something that, hey, I liked the way that she did pendulum work. I want to try that. Or I thought that her pendulum work was really crappy and I don't ever want to try it. It
Or
can
I
be
don't want to
either
do it
way.
that way.
Yeah, I want to try
Everybody
it a different
does it a
way.
little
It can
different.
be either way. You learn
Yeah.
something, or it's either good or it's bad, but you learn something from them.
And isn't that just the gift of this field?
Absolutely.
And actually, I guess it's the gift of whatever you're doing.
Life.
You have to be open to ideas, and you have to be willing to just kind of open your mind just that little bit,
Right.
just that little bit, like with the fish,
Yep.
or just get it explained to you in such a way that it makes sense to you.
See, I get in trouble a lot where I ask a lot of questions of people when they're doing something, and they always think I'm trying to bash them or something like that, which not. I want to understand everything that you're doing. I want to understand why you're doing it, what's your reasoning behind you're doing it, how you're doing it, how you came up with this concept, why you went this direction with it. And it's not so I can tear it apart, so that I can understand that if I do have questions about it, I can ask an intelligent question about it, so I can progress myself and learn possible from that and say, you know what? I like your idea here, here, and here, but I think I would rather do this portion a little bit different. And you care if I take it and go in another direction? And I've never had anybody tell me no. But it's a chance to now take that and grow from that.
Right.
Then I always report back to them. And I also always give them credit. Where'd you hear that from? Well, this person taught me. They told me how to do it this way, but now we've progressed to that way. And it's always a chance to continue that networking, continue that field of
And that's what
knowledge.
it's all about.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that I'm almost envious of being in the area that you're in, right? Because there's so few people here that I trust to investigate with, because most of it is like television based wannabe,
Right.
that want to be famous, want to be whatever. And said the person doing the radio show, right? But I do this so I can learn. And I've been doing paranormal. Can you believe I've done paranormal experience for 10 years now? But
Really?
I've learned so much stuff and had so many people come and talk to me. And I learn every time I get that opportunity. And I'm so blessed to have those opportunities. And it's really, I'm just like y'all. I go out. But Joe has a question. And that is, do you guys believe everyone has some sort of abilities? Do you think they're innate?
I don't. Because I know I don't have any abilities. I don't think that everybody has them. Not as far as psychic, sensitive, and all that kind of abilities. Everybody has an ability, absolutely. But it's always not that kind of ability. It's.
I think people are born with the ability, and that, because if you think about it as a child, if you were scared because you saw something, you were told it really wasn't there. You didn't really see that. It's not real.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's not real. It's not, you really don't see anything. So I think that you learn it gets turned off. If it's not real, then why am I? It's
just there, but it goes. You shut it off.
Right.
But that's where I learned the opposite ways. Because when I was a kid, we thought we saw something, we were scared of it. We were told to go ahead and catch it, try to catch it, and trap it, prove that it was there. So if we couldn't catch it, we couldn't trap it, then it wasn't there. Then
yeah, but exist. You guys were different.
Yeah, my grandfather tried to scare us in the house when we was kids. I was probably about 10, our brother about 11 or 12. Told us the boogeyman was going to come take us down to Kentucky if we didn't go to bed. Because, when the sun's set behind the mountains and all the sky was all lit up, that's the boogeyman. If we didn't go to bed before dark, he'd take us away. We came up till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to set traps, trying to catch him.
See, they weren't normal kids.
Since we couldn't catch him, he doesn't exist. We weren't taught
that explains a lot,
doesn't it, Jay?
We weren't taught to fear anything. We were taught that life is about the experience, and if it's out there, and if it's truly there, you can experience it.
Yeah.
We knew that deer were there because we could hunt them, we could see them. Right. We knew that the crops would grow because we knew we could plant them. When everything was on a practical, realistic situation. It wasn't about what ifs and buts. It didn't matter. In fact, my dad's favorite saying was, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day. But it's not. Deal with the reality of what you're doing. Deal with
And
what
it's
you're
That's
funny
doing.
actually not a bad
because-
way to grow.
No, it's not. But
Yeah,
it's
it's
also
not.
but it's also a way that you keep a very closed mind, and you don't learn to open it up to try new experiences and try new things and to get adventures. So I grew up where I had absolutely no compunction with trying adventures and stuff. I've beat the hell out of myself over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, reason why I don't have somebody having a trike. I don't have a trike every motorcycle anymore because I've wrecked 4 of them. I barely walked away from them. It's time to quit. I'm a dumbass. Don't need to be on a bike.
Well, I had a motorcycle wreck. It made a whole different person out of me. We have a
Right.
question here, and I'm going to, full disclosure, this is my kid. so,
Okay.
so hey, Allie, I love you. It says, if we aren't born with the ability, can we learn? Or if we are born with it, is it our responsibility to develop it?
If you don't want to develop it, you don't have to. If you're born with something,
Nap time animal.
like she probably sees and hears things and doesn't know how to handle it or address
Well,
it.
she does because her mom is. Mom can help her.
And no, I'm just saying, if she wants to continue with it, then she can do so. But if she doesn't want to, if she does not want to have any, my son has abilities and he wants nothing to do with it.
Nope.
Really?
So we shut it down, and he's never.
He
never
still
opened it
sees
back
and
up.
does things. He's just like, what's
And-
going on? But he's like,
Nothing.
nothing. Just go away.
So I think that yes, you can develop it, but only if you want to. If you don't want to have anything to do with it, Allie, I don't think you have to.
Thank you, Allie, for asking that question, because now you made me question something on my own. What I said earlier. If we aren't born with the ability, that kind of goes back to everybody's born with something. Can you develop it? And do you have the responsibility to develop it? You don't have the responsibility to anybody but yourself.
Right.
And to do what you're comfortable with for yourself.
But I think when I say no, not everybody's born with the ability. Everybody's born with some kind of ability. Just not everybody's born with the psychic or sensitive or anything like that. Mine's more practical. I'm more theological and things like that. I've explained to Scotty Rourke, bless his heart, me and him argued about it because everybody's born with the ability. I'm like, I disagree. I think there are people like him and you and Teresa and stuff like that. You guys are born of the ethereal. You guys are spiritual or anything like that. But there's some of us that are born. I told Teresa before we ever got involved in paranormal, when we first got together and stuff, I told her, I said, I've lived 1,000 lifetimes. I'll live 1,000 more. My life as a Scot-Irish warrior is I fight, I defend, I die. That's my job. Somebody has to defend the line to protect the others. That's my ability. That's what I do. I'm grounded. I'm practical. I'm on the earth. You guys are above that. That's your job. That's your spot. I have no problem with my destiny. I've accepted it over many lifetimes. I'll accept it over many more. If that's what it truly is, if I truly still believe that. Getting into the paranormal, I've kind of backed away from that thought process, but I used to say it all the time. My ability isn't that. Your guys' ability is that. And that's to teach and to educate and to move the society and the people to another level. Our job is to defend it. Our job is to hold the ground against everything evil. That's our job. That's our
But you know what? That is a destiny and it is a job.
Right.
And when you're Rick McCollum is that person, the guy that founded Hollywood Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
He is that person.
Show with great power comes great responsibility.
Well, yeah, I know Joe is. I like Joe. I think that I would like Joe. So
You would.
just saying.
I'm going to say this. I hope you don't hear me, but I love him like a brother. Yeah, I said the L word, asshole.
Well, Allie said that. Allie says, "Oh, I want to. It can just feel scary sometimes.
Oh.
It can feel scary sometimes.
It can
if
be
it's not.
scary.
How do you deal with that, Teresa?
If you're learning and you're I would not do it by yourself.
Never do it alone.
Yeah,
Be with
never
somebody
do
you
it
know and
alone.
trust. Be with somebody you know and
Yeah.
trust.
Even like I've been able to channel several times,
I try.
but I don't.
They don't like me.
I won't do it unless I have somebody there that I know can pull me out if they notice that things are going bad.
Joe. Ooh.
Right.
So
How do you ascertain that something's going bad? What is your first sign? Sorry, my pyramid's
fine.
attacking.
Jay will notice if I say that I'll tell him I'm going to let this person in. They're really wanting in. I'm going to let them in. I would do it with like my friend Tina Paradis-Shane out of Canada. I would do it with her. I would do it with Jason Arthur. There are a few people that I would do it with.
Joe
with
take care of me.
Joe. Joe would take care of me.
Joe, if he couldn't, he'd just call my dumbass.
Right.
Well,
But when the breathing starts getting erratic, it starts becoming a physical change.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's a huge, that, for lack of sounding stupid, that's a big no-no.
Right. Well, it's
You know,
because you're being affected in ways that can harm you.
my voice can change because it's not really me, it's them channeling through. So my voice can change. But other than that, it normally kind of stays even keel and we just get the information. But if something starts going awry and Jay notices it, or Jason, Joe, they'll pull me out.
How do they do that?
Hey, they'll come up and just talk to me.
Sometimes it's that way. We've had to have Tina though do cord cutting and do Palo Santo and sage and everything else. Hell's Bar Dam.
I wasn't channeling then. Don't you blame that on channeling.
But I'm saying allowing something in. Something got in. You challenged it. It stepped up. It kicked your ass. And it took more than just my touching you. You stepped outside of your comfort zone. You pushed farther than what you'd ever pushed before. And you pushed something that pushed you back farther than what you could handle.
Yeah.
It took a lot more than just my come up and talking, doing all that crap.
In Hell's Bar Dam, I pretty much got my butt handed to me on a silver platter.
But you challenged.
Did the Palo Santo help?
No, it did. It took Palo Santo. It took sage. It took cord cutting ritual.
There was a lot that had to go on for me too, and that was all in a hotel room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really.
Yeah, they thought we smoked a dope because of the sage.
Yeah, that gets that reaction a lot.
Yeah, I had to call.
Like, no, dude, I'm okay.
We had to do the phone a friend. Help.
Yeah,
help me. I was so sick. We've been married 38 years.
36.
Together 38. Sorry. I've been with him forever.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be shorter than you thought now.
Right?
At least I know how long we've been married.
This is true.
But
I know. I pay attention.
When I had smarted off at Hell's Bar Dam and said that.
Not a good place.
No. And you've been there?
No, I've just heard.
Okay. There's an area that a bunch of underground tunnels come together, and they have like a round picnic table, patio table or something sitting there, and it had chairs around it. It was a really good place to do sessions. Mm-hmm. So we were doing a session, and Tina was sitting across from me, and it was recorded, and we could hear something say my name from one of the tunnels. And it wasn't one of us. They went and checked. There was nobody back there, but it said my name. And like when it ended, it was like, Teresa. And it just like drug it out. No. And I was like, oh, it said my name. That was kind of cool. And they're like, I'd never heard my name called out like that. So I was like, oh, okay. And then when we kept going on, and I said, Tina, it's trying to jump. And she's like, don't let it. And you could hear her. She's like, we're arguing back and forth. I've got this, Tina. Don't you give in to him, Teresa. I've got this. We're arguing back and forth. I said, I've got this. I'm stronger than it is. Well, it proved to me that I was not.
Let's get you every time.
Yes. And I learned the hard way. I got violently ill that night at the hotel room. I was being choked.
We didn't even go back the second night. We were supposed to investigate 2 nights, or we didn't go back the second night. We stayed at the hotel.
I think I would not have gone too.
Yeah, we were.
Well, just because of the violence of that attack. I was
sicker than I have ever been, and we laid side by side every single night when I was coughing and being choked and couldn't move, and he never even flinched. He never knew any of it was going on. I finally was able to roll out of bed, and I was throwing up. I finally made it to the bathroom crawling, trying to say his name, and I couldn't. I mean, this was horrible.
That is horrible.
And then the next morning he got up and he like sits up and he's like, "Oh, what a good night." I'm like, no, it's not.
No, dear,
I said,
it was
"Call-"
not.
I said,
Oh my
"Call
gosh.
Tina. I need Tina." So Jay calls Tina real quick. He knew I was in trouble. He calls Tina real quick. She's a couple rooms down from us. And she's like, "Do I need to bring," we call it our oh shit bag. So it has the Palo Santo, the holy oil,
Sage, everything.
Yeah, it has everything. And Jay's like, "Yes." So we came in and she goes, "Oh my God, Teresa," I don't mean to make you feel worse than you are, but you look like shit. She says, "You are
Thank you.
gray." Yeah,
Oh
she
my
said,
gosh.
your color is literally gray. And
Were you still having difficulty breathing at that point?
Yeah. Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
it was horrible bad.
But on
But at
that
the same time-
aspect, I couldn't tell because of the physical things that were going on. It had signs of how like a flu or pneumonia or
Yeah.
food poisoning. You have severe asthma. All those things are actually symptoms of chronic illnesses that she already has. So
Right.
having them all trigger at one time, though, is extremely odd.
Yeah.
Me being me, the practical person, I'm like, well, here, let me get your breather, your puffer, and all this other stuff. It's like, I don't need that.
I knew that's not what it was.
So I was looking at it for more of a practical sense and a medical sense from what I know on that side. And it wasn't on that side. Tina was the only one that actually, nothing I gave her would help her. Everything that Tina did. She came back from what Tina and her did together. And there's some other people that helped her. Tina was there. Brandy was there too, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And Brandy went on that one?
Yeah, she wasn't there on that one. Margie.
Yep.
And Jax. And then we called Angel.
Night terrors. I've never had a night terror.
I've never had anything to do with night terrors, thank God. I feel for anybody that does, because I can't imagine being that scared. To be perfectly honest, I rarely remember my dreams. And I know that everybody dreams, but they say you have to wake up during them in order to remember them. And apparently I just don't wake up.
I don't anymore. I used to, my dreams were always, well, I have had prophetic dreams all my life.
I can
And
imagine.
so it's weird. But, and, I wouldn't know until I was in a scenario. And I would know exactly what was going to happen, who was going to walk in the room, what the person that I'd never met before, his name was, and where they were from, that kind of thing. And they were always protection for me. It was a situation that I needed that information. And Allie, she's, I have taught her to protect, and I have taught her a lot over time. But it's really the night terrors thing. I would have dreams that would end poorly. And they were also prophetic because my deja vu is not just deja vu. I have it all the time, less since I've been going through menopause and whatever. The hormones aren't quite as bizarre. But I've always known, prophetic, protection, whatever. And so, but I've never been so locked down that I couldn't get out of it while I was asleep.
Right.
That would trip me out. And I think that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, the whole damn froze and couldn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that.
I can't imagine that either. I do think sometimes that the night terrors are your warning system. It's almost like it's scary when it's happening. But I do think that depending on the level of terror, I think that the horrible dreams that I would have were protection dreams. So that I would know the name of someone. I would know a voice.
Right. Now
things like that.
I have heard of people having the night terrors where something is attacking them, as far as being, they're being held down by
What's up, Ed?
an entity of some sort,
Yes.
and being terrorized by that entity. To me, that's totally different. And when you dream, that is the only time that you are completely vulnerable.
Yes, you are.
And that's the reasoning that a lot of times your loved ones will come through in dreams to you, because it's easy.
Yep.
You don't have your walls up. You don't have your barriers. It's easy for them to do it at that time. I was doing where I was traveling a lot in my sleep, and I would wake up and I would be like sore, where I was clenched up all night, and I was doing whatever on a different realm, apparently. And I was told that I had to ask my spirit guides, please keep me in my body tonight. Let me sleep. Let me get peaceful sleep. So I started doing that, and it finally broke.
How
But
long
it
did
was
it
a long
take?
time. It took probably 2, 3, 4 months. And I would do this nightly before it would finally.
So you were
Right.
astral without trying to be.
Yes.
Wow.
It was like I was being pulled, is what it felt like. Like I was being pulled out, not just doing it willingly, but I was being pulled out.
What did you feel like was the purpose behind that? Why do you think that started happening?
I honestly don't know. It was almost like I was battling on a nightly basis, whatever it was. But I mean, thank goodness I didn't end up with any. You see the movies or whatever where they dream that somebody grabbed them and then they have a bruise on their arm, or
Yeah.
a nail scratch,
No
or
bruises.
something. No bruises, thank goodness.
That would be
what I would-
trippy.
Yes, it would.
I don't know how I would respond to that myself.
Absolutely
And
not a bother,
Allie-
Allie.
Yeah, mine were preventative. Mine were protection. Mine
Yeah.
were to be aware of situation and pay attention. If I
Yeah.
saw a sign of something that I saw in my dream, I would be aware.
Right. And that
And my-
triggers
my-
you. That's probably your guides getting to you,
Yeah.
and knowing that she'll listen when we do this. And she'll pay
If she
attention.
sees it, yeah. If she sees it
I
in
will-
her real
it'll-
life, she'll
it'll
recognize
trigger.
this. Yeah.
Yes.
Trigger. Thank you. That's the exact word. Thank
Yeah,
you, Jane.
it'll trigger you.
Yeah.
And
Because
Allie, you're no bother at all.
Absolutely not. We try to answer questions, but I'll be the first one to tell you, if I don't know, I don't know. I'm not going to give you some kind of BS just to give you an answer. I will go see the people that I've networked with that do know and probably put you in contact with them so you can get the
Yes.
answer that you need. I may not know, but I know somebody that probably does know, and I'll send you there.
well, that's one of the benefits of what we do, right? Because we talk to people from so many different walks of life and so many areas of the paranormal, ufology, spiritualism.
Cryptids,
There's
everything else.
yeah, and see you with cryptids. That is my hard no. I do not. Now, let me just say that I go places like in Scotland. The unicorn is their national animal. Okay, a mystical animal is their national animal. They're posts all over Scotland. They that is their animal. But to go out actively seeking, if I'm looking for Harry from Harry and the Hendersons, I'm good with that. If I'm going looking for, not so much.
Right.
But
Not so
see,
much.
that's where when I first got involved in the cryptid community, I got in so much trouble. I had
Why?
some of them get mad at me, wouldn't talk to me, said I was just making a mockery of it. Imagine that. This Joe got told the same thing about the paranormal. He's making a mockery of the paranormal. So, but
No,
thing
not
is-
you.
but my thing is that there's no culture around this world that does not have some kind of cave depictions of these things.
Say that
Society
again.
isn't-
Say that
There's
again.
there's
Slow
no
down.
culture around this world, not one, that does not have an ancient culture, that does not have cave drawings or some kind of depictions of these things in their artwork, that had absolutely no
Absolutely.
contact with
Absolute
one another
fact.
whatsoever. So my thing is with Bigfoot, and you brought up Harry and the Hendersons. At the end of the show, when they let Harry loose, the mom stood up and the kids stood. They were right there in plain sight.
Yeah.
Nobody saw them. I was like, well, you know, there's no way that could happen. Okay. I grew up in the woods, hunting and fishing, everything else. If I made a proper ghillie suit, you could be within a few inches of me. And if I
That's
didn't
true.
move or anything else, you would never know I was there. That's me imitating nature.
Yes.
I'm doing what? I'm imitating nature. So now you're telling me that nature can't do what I'm imitating? But when I'm imitating them, here we go back to what I said earlier. That's our own arrogance of our own intelligence.
Absolutely, it is.
So then I get the whole thing of, I truly believe that there are creatures that are here. I do not think they're aliens. I do not think they're interdimensional. I said that I think, my opinion, my theory, that they're part of the Fae folk. That they're
Part of the Fae?
The Fae. They're Earth
You think
protectors.
Bigfoot are Fae?
They're part of the giants are part of the Fae folk. They're part of the everything like that.
Right.
The leprechauns, they're all part of nature. If I was
I've never thought of Bigfoot as anything other than just a mammal, not a Fae. That's
man,
interesting.
but what if they're there to protect the woods, to protect nature, everything like that?
Well,
And
they are.
they see how destructive we are as people. Everything we touch, we destroy. Anything we are afraid of, we destroy or we kill. Anything that we think we won't have control over, we try to control the land. We try to control the
Right.
weather. We
The
destroy,
water.
build our cities and everything else, and build our buildings and stuff. We don't live in harmony with nature. Who's to say that since we've gotten out of harmony with nature, if they've gotten out of harmony with us, and once we get back to living naturally, more naturally, we will not become more aligned with what's going on in the world. We will not have more understanding of what's going on with the world, more understanding about our own frailty and everything else, that we have lost our disconnect with them. They're there watching us, waiting for us to become re-educated with the world. And I was, oh, you're trying to make me into fairies. You're an idiot. You're stupid. I'm like,
No, I mean, I don't argue about fairies. I just have never considered Bigfoot as Fae.
Bigfoot,
Right.
Dogman, they're protected.
Dogman's scary.
Dogman's not scary.
I would beg
Neither
to
is
differ.
Bigfoot, in my opinion.
Well,
but I was
Bigfoot are aggressive, but Bigfoot's
No.
not aggressive.
Really?
Dogmen
Are
are
they?
aggressive.
Are they?
They are.
How where's the proof that there's actually a dogman's been aggressive? There's been
Well, I have
claims.
only one reference to that, and and he's not around anymore. It's Butch Witkowski.
Well, there's
and-
a land between the lakes. I've studied that extensively with the North American Dogman Project. I was one of the founding members of that. I'm also one of
I did
the tracker for the North American Dogman Project, the Dog Boys.
Have
So
you never found them to be aggressive?
I've never found anything to be aggressive out there that wasn't forced to be aggressive. Everything in nature has a fight or flight. Nothing goes at anything hardly unless it's going to try to get it to
Okay.
eat or to protect itself.
I
That's
will give you
nature.
that, because when I was talking to Butch about the Dogman experience that he had, they were coming through. There were 3 men. They were in trucks. They had weapons, and the Dogmen came walking through, and not one of them raised a weapon because telepathically they were being taught that's such a bad idea. You don't want to do that.
Oh yeah.
Or just, and so I stand corrected. They were not being aggressive, but they were asserting that would happen should somebody threaten them.
There's one of the claims that we had to research is a gentleman said that he emptied a 30-round clip or something like that of an AR-15 into the chest of a dog man, and it did nothing. Didn't pinch the skin or anything like that.
Well,
that
that
was
could
his
go
claim.
along with the Fae.
But that's what I'm saying. There's who's to say that it's not something more simplistic than that? That most things that we do in this world as human beings, we are arrogant as hell. We think we're the most dominant, most intelligent species on this planet, and we think that we have a control and handle over everything, which we really don't have handle over nothing. We are so frail and so at the mercy of what's going on around us every single day of our lives. And who's to say that isn't the reason why they stay away from us? Once we realize our existence of how we should be, then we could be more along the lines with every bit of this. There's no culture on this earth that doesn't have depictions of these, of Bigfoot, of like Loch Ness monster style creatures, of dogmen, of elves, of fairies. If they're everywhere, they had no contact and communication with one another. Then how do they all know this if they didn't truly exist?
Well, and like you said,
simple.
they're everywhere. Hieroglyphics depict them.
Right.
They are everywhere, and it's
they're
like
natural.
aliens. It's like aliens.
Right?
But
And
they are part of the natural world. The creatures that
part of
we're
it.
discussing.
Fight or flight,
But I do
survival,
think they're
or
scary.
protection. They can be scary, but they're usually only scary to either a bear 90% of the time, or even out deer hunting, a large buck will come at me and stuff like that. And it's happened. They'll paw the ground, they'll snort, they'll rip on their back legs and slap their hooves. That's an intimidation factor. That's just trying to say, hey, look, me, I'm big, I'm bad, get away from me, don't mess with me. Even though they are an herbivore and they have no form of true defense besides their antlers, they have no way of really protecting themselves. But they still try to be that imposing because they have that fight or flight. It's a natural instinct. It's what animals of every species, not even humans, we try to puff up and beat on our chest. Guys, a bunch of drunk guys in a bar.
I've seen that.
No, it's
I've
right.
seen that behavior.
Yeah, or
More
two,
than once.
or two
Even
guys
with alcohol not involved, yes, indeed.
well, yeah, even with alcohol,
Right.
or two guys trying to get the attention of one of the same young lady. They're the same
Yeah.
thing as two rutting bucks. They'll stomp around, beat on their chest. Oh, come on, it's all part of the natural order of things, and that's why I try to tell them that we're looking for a extreme answer to something that's probably simple, but we do that as a human being. We overlook everything to try to find this deeper, bigger meaning when the simple meaning and is so easy to accept, but it's so simple and it's right in our faces that we don't want to. We don't want to accept it because it can't be that easy. Why can't it? Why can't it be that simple?
A lot of life is simple if you just give it half the chance.
My life's completely simple because I do what she tells me. Oh,
No, he doesn't.
Oh my gosh, you are such a mess. I tell you what. And my southern did just come out, but
I don't care.
you are a mess, Jay.
my hillbilly from Kentucky comes out all the time. I can't help it.
We are what we are.
That's right.
So, and I'm sorry for drinking in front, but
No,
little
I've
bit of
been
a
trying, but
scratch
mine's
there.
empty. Mine's empty.
Well, I have become addicted to having a beverage. So
I have
but,
to also.
I do want to ask you something because when we were talking about the spiritualism, Allie popped in there and said, are there examples of what sets apart the things that you can recreate? And you just see them. I mean, the situations that you were being warned about, you'll find yourself standing in that environment. Right, Teresa? Is that how you view that?
It'll be
There you go.
it'll be I know that name. I've been here before.
Yeah.
I've had this feeling before. I recognize that man even though I've never seen him.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That has saved my life before.
you'll start remembering things from your dream and you'll be like, "Oh crap.
I'm out."
Yeah.
I mean, that was my
turn
reaction.
around and go the other way."
Yeah.
See, I want so bad when you said you get feeling. I was so bad. I thought the Black Eyed Peas. I got a feeling. Ooh, oh, sorry.
Oh my goodness. There's a reason I like you.
I'm not right in the head.
Yeah, because I'm not either, and it's a good mix, so it's all
That's
fun.
right.
But boring, right in the head is kind of boring. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Now, after I had that little incident the other week, I was in the hospital. Those little TIAs. It's been about a week to get back to being me. I thought that my ADHD had slowed down big time. There's usually I tell people all the time, I got like 13 personalities stuck in my head. 12 of them don't like me. I don't know which one's me. And I don't care. We're having fun. Who gives a crap? Let's have fun. So, and the ADHD is always going. It's always like 50 tabs, 1,000 tabs open, and music coming from somewhere. I have no idea where it's coming from. And that was all gone. It was like a week. It was like a week. It's taken me a week to get back to being more of myself. And I told Teresa, it actually had me worried. It's like, how do you guys live every day with this quietness and only being able to look at one thing at a time?
I wouldn't
I
know
like
what
being
to
able
do.
to multitask. I like having all that different things going on. I like all the different chatter going.
Keeps it from being
me
boring.
Thinking. Right. And it keeps me thinking all the time. I
Yeah.
never have to worry about it. There's always, if I get bored of this tab, I open up that tab and go to the next thing and the next thing. We go back to the over here. It's just,
Yeah, I see, and I'm not like that.
no,
Are you
she's
methodical?
normal.
Because my husband is methodical.
I don't know that I'd say I'm not methodical.
I'm more methodical than you are because my dad was a drill instructor in the Army and he got it before I was born.
Oh, okay.
But we didn't have ADHD medicine back then. We had directions. And if you're going the wrong directions, you returned.
Yeah.
Right.
You go in the right direction. So it was always by the numbers and by the book. And I'm a very sticker on by the numbers and by the books on most things. On my day-to-day routine, I am very routine. I'm very methodical about things. I put my keys in the same spot every day so I know where they're at the next time I need them. I mean, I have a
Heaven
I do that
help you
because I
if you
won't
move
know
them.
if I don't.
Well, but it has, just in case, I know the slice little thing moves in my stuff, I know it. It's just the same spot, same way every single time, every day. If it moves, if Teresa goes in there and moves it, just my hat just a little bit, I'll notice it as I walk in the door. Please mess with my hat. I just moved it. Okay, to make sure somebody wouldn't, so because of that, I've gotten very, and plus with hunting and fishing and things like with hunting, you have to pay the detail.
Yeah.
And we were taught when we were hunting, we were taught that it is for food. This is not a sport. This isn't a game. This is life and death. If you're not going to process and consume what you're going to go out and hunt, you don't go hunting. We were taught that you had to be ethical. You had to be careful about it. You had to be quick and clean about it. We were given one bullet. If I went out and I missed, I didn't get another bullet and I didn't wound it. If you wounded something, you tracked it until you found it, and you made sure that you dispatched it quickly, mercilessly, and be done. You don't make anything suffer. You torture nothing. So it was very methodical growing up. Everything had a set rules and set guidelines. Everything had a thing about nature too. It's always about the natural process of things. So I'm more methodical than she ever thought about me. Completely. I'm surprised she puts up with shit.
I'm
more laid back. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm more laid back. It's like I'll be doing something and I get pulled over here to do something else. Oh,
She'll forget about that later.
Yeah, I'll get to it later.
I gotta go back to it. I gotta fish it. I'm the guy that comes in the door. I get off of work before she does. She works from home. I'll come home. And the first thing I do, unload the dishwasher, start reloading the dishwasher, start loading laundry.
I got no problem with that.
Every day. It's part of me. I got to do it.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
But he has,
But I'm
like,
harmless.
he does all this stuff, and then he has his downtime in the evening.
I play Fortnite.
Where I work on a computer all day, and I talk to people all day in a call center. So I just want to take downtime for 20 minutes
That is
and do
downtime.
nothing.
But for me, that is downtime. Being ADHD, doing other things is downtime for me. I'm not doing work things. I'm doing other things.
That's
But
true.
I still have to be doing things.
You stepped away from your norm.
Yeah,
Right.
I do other things, but the other things I do still has to be somewhat semi-constructive. Because if not, then I get bored with it, and then I'll go do something else until that's boring. Then I'll go back to that one. Then until that's boring, I'll go back to that.
I cannot tell you the
Changing
number.
channels.
I can't tell you the number of movies that we have started,
Oh,
and
Guilty.
he'll say,
shut up, Joe. Hey, Joe.
I'm done with this. I'm just not, and he'll get up and leave. I'm like, okay, now do I finish watching this movie or wait for him to get arrested again?
Yeah.
Once I get bored with it, I never get
He
interested
won't
with
go-
it again.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, I would probably be that way.
It doesn't have to have constant action. It just has to have a constant growth of the story. You know what I mean?
Well, an evolution. It can't be
Yeah,
just
yes.
stuck. Yeah.
It's like I tell a lot of people, and I know I'll use sex scenes in most movies. To me, they're filler that doesn't need to be there.
Mhm.
We get it. They're in love. Move on. That
Yeah.
doesn't pertain to the story. That's just there for.
And it doesn't
Sure.
need to be, I have boobs. I don't need to see someone else's.
Right,
You know,
And
exactly.
It's just like-
it's
I know what they look
There's-
like.
Yeah.
and I get in trouble all the time with LEP Productions, and now with Dark Realm TV that we got with filming things like that. We're talking about getting into the filming some of the horror movies and things like that for the portion of our horror thing. And that's great. But to me, I'm always more of a shorts on filming because my ADHD, I get bored, I'm done with it, and I'll never finish watching the movie. So I want to keep the storyline moving in the progression of the storyline. I don't need fluff and filler for me. That doesn't do anything to me. I get
Well,
bored.
fluff doesn't do much for anybody, but yet people keep putting that in.
Right.
Right.
But that's just so they can make it a feature film, because anything over an hour and 35 minutes is a short. Anything over an hour and 35 minutes is a feature. So once you get to the feature, people want to make it to the
An hour and a half is a short.
hour and a half unless it's considered a short.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, anything up to an hour and a half.
Can be considered
Okay.
a short. So a lot of people, when you think shorts, they think like little skits.
Right.
And-
That's what
but
I thought they were.
But I do,
Me too.
but that's a skit, and I do love those. Look how many me and Jason's filmed, me and Joe's filmed, me and Rick filmed.
Yeah.
I still love the skits. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more of and Joe and Jason they're more on the full feature length, and that's great, and that's where they take lead on it because my mind doesn't work that way. So I become a grunt and I do whatever they tell me. Hold this light, okay. Go fish that, okay.
Yeah.
Because they're more in line of what that needs to be done, what needs to be done to make that movie a feature film to make it continue and progress with the story. My brain would say like, I don't need that. That's boring. I don't need that. That's boring. So anybody
Yes,
else?
that's why I'm good labor too.
Well, with anybody else with ADHD, like, that's a great movie. It's short and to the point. Everybody's like, well, that sucked. I paid how much for that? So
I
have
know,
to allow
right?
them.
But I
So-
like those.
But that's like when I started with
Right.
photography. Everybody's like,
Mhm.
I wanted to learn about cameras.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you got to do this. You got to do that. I'm like, look, take your
Point,
rules and
shoot,
stuff
go
and-
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take your rules and stuff. You got to rule the rules of 3, and that. I'm like, that doesn't mean shit to me. What does f-stop mean? What does this mean? What does this feature do? What does it? I need to know the functions of the camera. That's all I care about. I want
I
to know
have
the
to tell you
functions of the
something
camera.
about that. I am the queen of ADHD. Okay. Or at least ADD. I'm not hyper as much as I used to be.
I'm slowing down.
Anyway, but I am a photographer. And I was a professional photographer for some time, nature and wildlife, beaches and things like that. Sold them in a few
Love it.
galleries. But no, point, shoot. If I don't like it, it doesn't get printed. But I have an instinct for setting a shot. Okay. So I would just be out. I would just go hiking.
Yep,
And
That's what I do.
herons and fox and dolphins, light. I love light on water. I love light on clouds. I do all that kind of stuff. And that's what I would sell because, down on the Gulf Coast at a gallery there, moved them like, pancakes that people are hungry. And so I don't do that anymore because I don't like manipulating my film. I don't like manipulating my shots
won't.
digitally. And
I
so if it's not good enough when I take it, it's not good enough to sell, and I'm not going to do anything to that. But it's just the way. Joe says he can picture the perfect shot, but making it happen is the challenge. But you know what? You
That's
got to
the
trust
fun
your
of it.
instinct and go and do it.
That's the fun of it, making it
See,
happen.
Our
but you're the
son-
tech side.
Our son
Ooh, not me.
is a very, he takes a lot of wonderful pictures. And he went hiking
He went
in the-
every day for like 2 weeks
to the same spot because he wanted
about the same
Oh,
time
did
to
it
catch the
different.
sunset at a certain way that he wanted to picture it with this shot.
Right.
He hiked
Yeah.
he hiked 2 hours back to the spot that he wanted to take this picture from, and waited till the exact right time that he wanted to have it.
Ah.
And if it didn't happen right, he'd hike 2 hours back out.
Yeah.
Next day, 2 hours back in. He did it every day for
every
2.5,
day.
3 weeks till he got the exact shot that he wanted with the
Well, that's
sunlight
what
the
you
way he
do.
wanted. But that's
You have
just
to be
it. That's
patient.
but that's also where when he was born and stuff, he wasn't into hunting. He didn't want to kill anything, and I expected that. So that's when I first started getting into photography. I bought one of the Canons like you get from
You can
Walmart.
shoot it
from
with
like
the camera.
you still have. I didn't buy him another big zoom lenses. He's got nothing that came in the little kit. 200 millimeters is the best he's got.
Right.
So you now have to learn how to stalk up close to them. You have to learn skills to get up close to them, get that shot that you want. You can't sit back a mile and zoom in on with this giant 4-foot lens and get this perfect, beautiful shot.
I love that.
You have to learn the abilities to be at one with nature and yourself. And now when you shoot them, you're shooting with a camera and not a gun, and you both walk away. So, but he still had to learn the skills of the woods and learn nature to get close to
And
nature.
that makes it
to
nice.
photograph nature. So it put it on it gave him a chance to learn things from every level. I knew nothing about photography, so it gave me a chance to learn also. So as he's learning, I'm learning, so we're teaching each other and we're working together. It just gives us a chance to learn things together and learn a bond. So
That's
I'm weird.
perfect.
I'm weird. I do things completely weird to everybody. I can't help it.
Well, you are weird, but that's what makes you you, and I think that's pretty cool, really.
Let's get on, roomies.
I mean, yeah, that's Mark Addy. Hi, Mark.
But yeah, it's just a different way of looking at things. Like I said, I'm with my ADHD. I can't play by rules. I don't play by rules anywhere. It's like paranormal. You never investigate alone. Bullshit. Never channel 50. Bullshit. Never do bullshit.
I don't like nevers. Nevers are absolutes, and there aren't any absolutes in what we do because it's anomalous.
But that's one thing about if you investigate with Joe and Jason and myself together, you're going to have some kind of different experience. Whether it's paranormal or not, it won't matter because we push the limits of everything and we push each other to our
How's
absolute
that?
limits. And it's when one of us says that, okay, Teresa, I do it with everybody though. Teresa's like, I can't go any further. I'm like, can you not go any further? Or can you just not go a full step further? She goes, well, I think I could take a half a step. I said, then take a half a step. Know your limits and know when to say when, but also don't limit yourself when you're just getting there, because every great experience, every great new discovery was just on the other side of that next step that you were afraid to take. Somebody was finally brave enough to take that half step and go to the next level. You'll never get to the next level if you always walk up to the right this one spot and stop.
We were investigating a location.
Yeah, we did.
And we were filming it.
I just saw that. I'm
No.
sorry.
We were
Oh
on
my
the
God.
USS. We were on the USS Edson, and there was a hold on there where a guy had actually put himself down in there and sealed it and suffocated. It sealed airtight and
Committed
suffocated
suicide.
himself and committed suicide. So we didn't seal it, but we stuck Joe in there, and it was summertime. There's spiders all over the place.
It was
We stuck Joe
so
down there with
hot.
just him and the camera, and he's terrified of spiders.
Oh my God. Poor
He's-
Joe. Joe, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
He agreed to do
He
it. He
agreed
didn't
to
have
do
to, but once again,
Did you know
Right.
there were spiders when he agreed to that?
oh yeah. But on that same
When
aspect,
he agreed to do it, you guys were upstairs.
yeah. But then we told
And
him.
then he looked when he got
And
downstairs
then we
after
told him
he
what we
agreed
saw a
to
couple
it.
spiders, and that's when he said he still did it. But on that aspect, there's a thing that I say all the time: are you experiencing a manifestation, or are you manifesting your experience? Both of them are cool, but only one of them is paranormal.
That's true.
So by putting him in that situation and putting yourself in that situation where you're already heightened, your instincts are absolutely heightened because of fear. You're absolutely going to be observant of every little creak and sound around
That's
you.
true. Anything.
You're now you're going to experience everything around you. And now that's why you have to take the camera with you, because you have to determine later on when you review it, was that something I experienced as absolutely paranormal? Was that something I manifested to experience because of my own energy and my own fear? But that
You
energy
can
that you're
manifest a
putting out,
lot with
Right.
fear.
right?
Yes, you can.
But that's why the camera gives you the chance to go back and review it later. Your memory is going to be different to what you actually filmed.
Yes. Yes.
But you put the two of them together, you have one hell of a good story. You have your personal experience. You also have the video of what actually transpired, what happened.
What did the spiders say, Joe?
Get out.
Joe in chat said that he heard the spiders
Yeah.
talking to him, and I want to know what they had to say.
We're going to bite you.
We're coming for you.
But that's how the three of us work together. We put each other to situations to where we can push one another to the next level and to actually open ourselves up to have that full experience. Like Joe said earlier, when you guys were talking about the dreams or the seeing things, he said he would love to have that, but that would probably change his entire belief system. But that's the experience that we want to have. Why are you not pushing yourself to experience everything that you can in your life, whether it be paranormal or in your day-to-day life? Why are you not pushing yourself to enjoy the most maximum amount of experiences that you possibly experience? I mean, I've done it. I've all my life. Like I said, I've 4 motorcycle wrecks. I've been thrown out of 2 cars, been flipped out of a Jeep, been shot at. I keep naming things that's happened to me, but I still keep pushing myself every single day to see that I make sure that if the heart attack would happen or if this stress would happen, I know for a fact that I've had an absolute loving, wonderful life, and I've experienced every possible thing I could experience. I've left nothing on the table. No doubts in my world that I've experienced life. No doubt at all. And I'll never.
There's not many people who can say that.
Oh, I can.
No, he can't.
Well, me and Teresa
I mean,
talked about it.
truly,
I can.
because of we hold ourselves back. A lot of people
I
are
don't know
so
how to.
afraid, but a lot of people are so timid, really, I guess is the correct word. It's not necessarily fear. And a lot of times it's because I know that when the first time I was going to Scotland, I just went. It was the bravest thing I've ever done, but the scariest thing I've ever done, because I told my husband after I bought my ticket. And
Guess what?
so, and he loves me enough that we're still married. Okay.
But that's just it.
So-
That's what I was going to say.
but-
With Teresa, even I told her before when all that stuff was going on, I said, look, even if something was happening, I was to die tomorrow. There's not people my age that can say they've been married for 36 years, been together the same person
That's
for
true.
38 years. I've lived a life that a lot of people was only imagined could ever happen. And I've had fun. I've experienced things. I put myself through absolute hell, but I've had a good time doing it. Was some of it stupid? Absolutely. Would I do it again? Probably.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Well, but you know, the stupid things are where we learn. The stupid things are where we understand. Right?
Yep.
different things about ourselves, different things about the people we love, different things about the world around us. If you don't step out and kind of get a little freaky with it, then you're not going to ever know.
Exactly.
Right.
That's where
Knowing is a good thing.
well, that's where the three of us together is a good thing and a bad thing, because we do push each other. But if it wasn't for doing that, we wouldn't have Dark Realm TV. We wouldn't have LEP production. We wouldn't have a hot sauce that's in the works. We wouldn't have worked with an energy drink. We wouldn't have Bodine the Bigfoot and now Dougie the Dog Man that goes out on the big conventions with this stuff.
Right.
We challenge and we challenge each other at every level. We push each other to do something more. And it's not Dark Realm TV. It's not about us. It is truly about the paranormal community. We're not here to make millions of dollars off of it. We're here to give people a platform. That's our whole belief in this thing.
As a person, I'm appreciative of that because, like I said, I've done this for 10 years. I love every time I get to talk to anyone.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm learning with every show. And, I've talked to so many people. I got as paranormal experienced before Fate Magazine Radio. I was credentialed for the very first Alien Con and the one after that. And then they started hitting during my girls' trip to Key West every year, and I didn't do anymore. Set priorities. But
Right.
Absolutely.
But I was not supposed to be there. Right? I was a paranormal show, and they respected my work and let me come. And then I started doing other UFO conferences. And so now I have my friend, my camera's backwards. But, and I went to Area 51 last summer.
Oh,
and,
cool.
All the things that I would never have done if I had not thought, because Frank Lee had me on his show once, and I thought, I really like this. I think I would be great at that. And so I approached the guy that owned that network and said, I'd really like to do a show. And ta-da, And then I got offered Fate. And I'm not stupid. I said, yes, please. And so, so now I do both of them. And it's so much fun because, I have friends like y'all who we've met once, and that was fantastic.
In person.
Yes.
In person. We've met before that several times.
Yes. And, Denise Pridemore is a dear, dear friend. And then Lori here is my travel buddy. We went to Scotland both times. And, there's so many people I've met through the paranormal, through ufology, through, even though I don't investigate cryptids on purpose, then, it has happened. It has happened. I'm going to just be blunt about that. But, it was scary and freaky, but I love what I do. I love this field.
I do too.
And it's so addictive to be when you're investigating. It's just so fun.
And it's actually filled with a lot more good people than it is bad. You hear nothing but the drama and bad, but there's so many good people out there. But that's what I was saying with Dark Realm TV. It's why we started, because there's so many people out there that have great stories to tell. Like having Fate Magazine Radio on the network and stuff, that have these things that they need to get there, and to be on a platform like Roku, and we should be on Fire Stick here real soon. And once we get that one up and going, we're going to apply for Apple TV. We're going with the 3 largest streaming platforms in the world.
It's very exciting.
We are on the same level as Netflix or anything else, ABC, NBC, or anything like that. We're
actually better than it's actually better than the big 3, because streaming is it's just so much more freedom for the masses. You don't have to be tied to a television. You don't have to be. And I think that streaming is just such a gift.
It is definitely the way of the future.
Denise.
But there's so many people though that Joe was asked to be on another network before we launched this one, and because we had already been talking about it, so I'm like, dude, go for it. That's great. That's awesome. Then there's like, well, how many followers do you have? How many likes do you have? Well, are you on here? Oh, you don't have enough people that we can't have you on our network. And we've heard it since I've been in the field. Everybody was all the time, I wish there was a place that everybody could go to. I wish there was a place that just anybody could go to. You didn't have to have all this and have clickbaits and all that stuff. You don't have to talk about demons. And we sat down and we said, hey, it's time to put up or shut up, boys. Let's do it. And we push each other and we're like, bet you can't. Why not?
You should be a fly on the wall on some of their brainstorming.
I can only imagine.
We got in over our heads. We brought in Brian and Gary and then Dave. They're the tech people behind it that wouldn't exist without Dave, without Brian, especially. Brian does 98% of everything behind the scenes. He's amazing. But it took a team. We built a team to do this. It took us a lot of cussing and discussing and mad and happy and I quit. You can't quit. You can't quit. You can't leave me. You're my brother. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And we've been through it all. But we've always stood by each other. And we wanted to build something that was for everybody. Whether you're a paranormal investigator, whether you're cryptid, whether you're UFO, whether you're urban explorer, urban exploration, whether you're into, because we got horror movies on there too. We got people that bring their own indie horror movies there. And we wanted to give everybody an outlet to be able to put things on there. And people that don't want to do it but want to watch, we wanted to give them a sense of places they could go where they could watch actual paranormal investigating, not what you see on primetime TV that's made for entertainment.
Joe says
Right.
that lots of Fortnite meetings.
We game
That's
together quite a bit. Joe
Well,
got
you
me
know-
playing.
Good night, Denise. But I think it's so special that if it weren't for Carl, I wouldn't be here, right? I mean, I
Carl's
wouldn't
good guy.
be. And so I just am so fortunate because I don't know. Like I said, I've done this forever. I absolutely love every conversation I get to have. And I think that other people do too.
Oh,
But,
absolutely.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And
And it's a learning, like you said earlier. It's a learning process, and we're thrilled as hell to have y'all on our network on Dark Realm TV and be a part of that. That's
Thank
wonderful to us. That's absolutely wonderful to us, and we hope that maybe this is a stepping stone that some other bigger network sees you guys on there and says, hey, you know what, we really like you guys. We like what you guys are doing over here at Fate Magazine. We want to see you guys get to this level. You know what? Go. We're not holding anybody back. We don't sign any contracts with people. We don't own your stuff. We don't own the rights to your stuff. It's yours. We just want to be able to put it out there on a bigger platform. We want to put you out there on a larger platform.
well,
Give
I
you a
just
bigger
like being part of a team, I guess.
We all do.
And it's just really fun.
Yeah.
And the things that I have learned about y'all, just because I'm nosy, I
Messed
start
up.
looking around and poking around and kicking the tires or whatever.
You go on my
And-
Facebook page, you see I don't hide shit.
I know, right?
No,
I should shut up, but I don't.
Well, my whole thing was, got in trouble when I got hacked.
Yep.
And so my profile got damaged. And I was just like, I don't even know because I'm so straight, right? I'm just like, I don't even know what to do. I've never been in trouble before like that. So not that kind of trouble. But anyway, so let's clarify that. So, I was just like, I don't even know what to do. And so then all of a sudden there's Carl. And I'm like, man, I love you, man. And but my friendship with Denise has been so good for so long. And I think that that's why you never know who is watching what you're doing. You should always be the same person, no matter what your situation is. And since
He's
I don't know how to
always
be
the
anybody
same.
else, you don't know either.
No.
You don't have filters. You don't know
That's
how to
okay.
change.
I tell people all the time, nobody wants to be me. Hell, I don't even want to be me. I ain't got no
But that's
choice.
the only person I know how to be, right? Is
I
me.
I don't want to
So,
be anybody else. Everybody else is no fun.
well, nobody else would change places, man. That's what the
No.
deal is. That's how my
Well,
situation
And
is.
I called a couple friends when I was in the jail. Hey, you want to trade places? Like, no. Assholes.
You are such a pistol.
I'm
But
honest.
yeah,
When we investigate together,
I can only
He's-
imagine.
always the one that pushes, like he was saying, pushes it another step forward.
When it's time to be
Another
business,
step.
it's business.
Yes,
we were
that is true.
investigating at a location, and I never do the walkthroughs.
I don't want you to do the walkthroughs. You're a
And-
psychic medium. You should do the walkthroughs.
Yeah, so I
That's
was
true.
sitting downstairs in another room. This is a large location, and it was in Toledo. And when we got to this certain,
I would agree with
area.
that. I thank God you're you.
when we were at this certain area, I kept looking. I was like, I'm really confused, and he was filming it and he kept saying, well, what are you getting? And I was getting mad because it was just too much. And I knew what I was seeing wasn't true.
And what did I tell you right there and then? When we are investigating and I'm having you work as a psychic medium, it is not your job to interpret what you see. It is your job to relate what you see and see how the evidence follows in behind it.
So
you could be right, you could be wrong. That doesn't matter. It's not your job to interpret a psychic reading, whether it be a reading or whether it be a reading on a building.
So
it's
this
your job
was
to
my
relay the
first
information.
investigation by myself as psychic medium without
Okay.
Tina. Okay, so
That's
I
up to you, the
was
same
I was
thing.
a little nervous, and I knew if I said what I was seeing, that people were just going to make fun of me. That I knew it was
Don't
wrong.
give a damn about
I
that. Do
knew
your
it
job.
was wrong, and I told him, I said, "All right, smart ass, this is what I'm seeing."
But I'm a smart one.
And I told him that what I was seeing was an invasion. Now we're in Toledo.
Okay.
And I saw an invasion of soldiers coming down because we were like on the river, coming up out of the river,
Along the road,
down on the road, and then down in front of the building we were at. And I was like, see, I know for a fact, I wasn't great in school, but I know for a fact that we were never invaded
Toledo was
like that
never
in
invaded.
Toledo. So I know that. And he
Right.
goes, okay, I want you to come over here to this other room with me. Because I was a little bit pissed at him because he made me go through all that. And I was just want a few minutes to figure it out. And he goes, now, do you remember what I said about just saying it? And I said, yeah. He shines his light on this huge picture that's hanging up that is exactly what I saw.
Whoa.
And he said that it was a parade.
Military parade.
Military
coming
parade.
home from one of the wars. And they paraded right down the main street down through
Oh
Toledo,
my
stuff like
gosh.
that.
That's so
But
cool.
to me, it looked like when I think of a parade, I think of balloons and clowns and the marching band and, that kind of stuff.
But you've got the full blown military homecoming parade.
Right. I didn't know what it was.
Wow.
So
And it was the exact thing. I could see
And they were
these
armed.
men.
They would have their arms.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
they
and
had them
I
on their
knew-
shoulders. They were, in parade rest and stuff. But
Yeah.
I knew good and well.
but
I knew good and well that we were never invaded in Toledo.
but
I
that's,
knew that.
when we
Yeah.
first started doing this stuff, we started working with Teresa, started working with her abilities, and it was Scotty and Tina and several other psychic beings that we know. I do that with every one of them. I tell them flat out. From my experience from the outside looking in, especially behind the camera filming, I see the biggest mistakes that most psychic mediums make when they're doing investigations is they try to interpret what they're getting.
Yeah.
You don't know if your interpretation now is wrong or right. Your job is, to me, when I'm filming and we're investigating, and especially we're working with a family in a household, we're filming this for evidence and stuff, not to put out, but for evidence. They're going to let you know whether you're wrong or right because it's their experience. You're seeing what they're living. Your job is to relate what you're seeing. That gives them confirmation. That gives you confirmation. That lets us know what track we're on while we're filming and what we're trying to go back through evidence review. Your job is to just tell what you see, what you hear, what you feel. Every emotion that you have. You don't interpret it, don't filter it, don't anything. Because you don't know that what you're saying. Like that one time we someplace, Brandy Marie. Brandy Marie's was talking about something, and Teresa's like, I can't say that. And she said, and you said just about she said you bitch or something like that.
Brandy had an issue, and we were trying to get her. We'd gotten her out of the room, and we were at a safe area, and we were trying to get her to talk it through and stuff.
I'm trying to also cleanse her
and
sage and all that stuff.
I was like, I kept getting this, and I was like, I can't say that. And finally, I was like, Brandy, I have to tell it. I just keep hearing this over and over again, and it keeps saying, "Suck it up, bitch." And they started laughing at me.
Brandy and Tina.
Yep.
Because Brandy's mom had passed away, and that was something her mom would have said to her. I would have never even dreamt of saying that to her.
But if she would have held back and tried to interpret what was being said,
Right.
the message wouldn't have been given that Brandy needed to hear.
Yeah.
It's not
After
your
the show,
job.
I have to tell you about something about that.
But I'm
So
saying
I had to learn, and that's a hard lesson
Yes.
to learn
Yes.
on what you're being told. We were doing
you're there to you're a channel. You're there to convene the information that's coming from the other side. You're not there to
a
interpret.
lot of times if I
It's
do
hard,
a reading
though.
for somebody, I
Yeah.
forget
Oh, I
I forget
imagine
the
you did.
information because it's not for me. I don't remember it. There's
Yeah.
certain things that I remember that stick out. We were doing an investigation here locally, and this lady's father had passed away, and they were talking to him through some equipment, and I could hear him like, in my ear. I could hear him talking, and he kept saying something, and I'm like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I am not opening that. And he was like standing in front of me, screaming at me. And finally, I was like, I really don't want to say this, but he's here and he keeps saying, and I was like really upset about saying this because
Yeah.
it was too much. He kept saying that he was murdered. And I was like, I just have to tell you, I said, he's saying that he was murdered. And they're like, oh, I knew that was true. I knew that and it made sense to them.
And come to find out later on, he was over medicated.
He was over medicated.
Oh
So,
my gosh, bless his
Yeah.
heart.
so it's something.
It wasn't intentional over medication.
Well,
But he was
right,
over
but still, he knew that he shouldn't be dead, so
Right.
he was
Right.
suffering
But
because
if she would have held back, though, they would have got that to move on to the next level to
Yeah.
start doing more things.
yeah,
So it takes a lot of people who have those abilities to understand that sometimes, not always, but sometimes when you're in situations, you're a conduit. You're
You
not the
are.
interpreter. You're a conduit,
Mhm.
and you need to be a conduit.
yes,
And so and that's where she gets mad at me because I push her on that stuff. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I don't care. It doesn't have to make sense to you. Tell me what you see, hear, smell, taste, feel, whatever. Every bit of your senses, physical and mental. Tell me what you got. Explain what you got going on. Explain it in as much detail as you can. Because when we actually go through the investigation, we actually go through the review, it actually ends up making more sense. And when we get the final product to be able to show, you're like, holy shit, that all came together because you didn't hold back.
Right.
Once again, we are our own limitations. We hold ourselves back. Fear,
Well,
insecurities, people might make fun of me, whatever. That's our fault. I don't give a damn what people think. I'm going to do what I want to do.
well,
I
that's
hate
true.
to
You
be
do not
wrong.
give a damn what people think. That's
No.
one of my favorite
No.
things about you.
No.
But I
live,
do know.
Live your life. Love your
Yes.
life.
I absolutely hate to be wrong.
I hate to be wrong. I can't. I hate being, but
And-
that's so limiting because we muzzle ourselves
Right.
no matter
Not
what
about
the
me, you won't.
situation.
I had to learn.
I don't have you. A lot of people don't have. A lot of people need
That's true.
a cheerleader that's going to push that hard.
That's
and-
true. I'm extremely fortunate.
You are fortunate. I think that's
I
wonderful.
really am.
If anybody has anything negative to say about somebody around me, they can say it to me.
Yeah.
I'll deal with it. I don't care
I
whether
mean-
it's her, you, or anybody in this chat room. If you got something negative you want to say about any one of these people, come talk to me. You want somebody to pick on her ass, come talk to me. Jason's the same way. Joe's the same way. That's the three of us together is it really is, in my opinion, an unstoppable force. We
Yeah.
will go and do exactly what we plan we want to go and do. Has some of our adventures and stuff not worked out? Yeah. Did people say that they failed? No, they didn't fail. We learned something and we started another adventure.
Exactly.
We don't ever stop. We don't ever quit. And I'm going to say this, it's going to be cheesy as shit, but the three of us are extremely blessed that we have our wives behind us because they are extremely supportive. We couldn't do half the stuff that we've done if it went for them going, do it. I dare you. What's the hurt?
I have that husband.
They're always on our side. They're always behind us.
Yeah.
Even when we're being stupid, they'll look back and they'll grab their phones and go, wait a minute, 911, and get ready to hit
Get
dial.
ready.
But they don't tell us we can't. They don't tell us we can't. If they tell us that
But
might
they're
be
just
stupid,
ready. They're
they're
just
like,
ready.
okay,
Yeah.
but let's get ready for let's get ready for the fallout because you guys are going to fall out, and we do it anyway.
Question.
So,
Before you started having your health issues, okay, were you this assertive in your life and all of the facets of your life?
yeah, I was
Were you?
probably about 11, not about 12 or 13 years old. Up until that point in my life, I was so extremely shy I wouldn't ask
His
somebody.
mom verified this.
I wouldn't
I
ask-
didn't believe it.
I wouldn't ask somebody.
Yeah, we
where
need
the
verification
bathroom
on
was.
that.
No,
Yeah.
I would be at a public place. I wouldn't ask somebody where the restroom was. I was too embarrassed and too shy to ask it. When I was younger, I was that shy, that self-centered and scared to that people would pick on me or do this or do that and this. And what happened was it was because of my ADHD. Everybody's like, oh, you need to sit down. You need this. I was the bad kid. I was this. I was that. Even though I kept straight A's through school. I kept straight A's through school. I was a 4.0 grade until I got my sophomore year in high school. I was a 4.0 grade student all the time. I kept on a roll all the time. But I realized that I was watching life, not living life.
Yeah.
I was always on the outside looking in. And that in the grand scheme of things, that their opinion of me didn't make me. I made me. And then Robin Williams come along.
Yes.
And I could relate to him so much with that whole persona and how he was and as wired as he was. That was me as a kid. And I saw it and that I could now be me. I wouldn't hurt anybody.
Nope.
Wouldn't hurt myself. Why do I care what they think? In a few years, I'm going to graduate school. 90% of the people I will never see again. They'll never be an influence in my life. Why am I allowing them to influence it now or any other time? And I flipped that switch and went from not being able to ask where a public bathroom was to absolutely not giving a rat's ass what anybody else's opinion of me, because it was my life to live. I had the philosophy, and this is a bad way to put it, the way I always said it. Time, if you looked at time as the concept of the ocean, an adult male in the United States at that time, life expectancy was about 76 years old.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at it in a biblical sense or a scientific sense, you either got thousands or millions of years. 76 years is like one drop of piss in that big ass ocean. It's my drop.
Yeah.
It's my drop. It may not mean a thing to the rest of that ocean, but it's my drop. And I'm going to drop it when I'm damn well ready to.
That's
I've never
very
looked back.
liberating.
I've never looked back. Nothing. I don't care what people say. They're entitled to their opinion. I like it. I respect it. And you can put it in your pipe and smoke it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I will respect you and respect your opinion. I ask for the same thing. If you can't do that, then kiss my arse. I don't care. I will still respect you and your opinion, but I'll still go my merry own way and do my merry own thing. Not worried about it. That's just, I flipped that switch and just never looked back. I've enjoyed my damn life. Like I said earlier, if I was killed over right now, I've had a great time.
Yeah.
Hope y'all have a
Teresa,
few laughs on me.
Teresa, do you do that?
No.
It's difficult to contemplate sometimes.
It is.
And
Because, and I think some of it,
Exactly,
we were talking
Jill.
about this some the other night, you know, when the way I was raised, you know, you don't want you're a young lady, you don't want people to think bad about you. Be careful. Kat knows what I'm talking about.
I do.
You know, that's how
I'm Southern, okay?
But
I was raised,
my dad's from Kentucky,
Sorry.
mom's from Texas.
there you go.
But on that same note, I don't care
It
how
is.
good you are. You're a monster in somebody's story. That's their story of you. And no matter how good you do, somebody still thinks there's something bad about you, or still, and it's usually their jealousy or their insecurity.
That's society, and that is jealousy.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So why worry
But-
about their opinion?
But when you were,
But it's hard not to, because
It
women,
is.
Southern
No, listen.
women were raised much differently. And I think
Yes.
women as a rule are, because, you know,
It isn't
You
that
don't
hard.
want people.
We say that.
Your parents have drilled it into your head. You don't want people to think bad about you. Then they think bad about us too. You know, how have we raised you? So you had to be careful on what you did. So
well, I got
who
past
you-
that. So
Oh.
because of terrible parents. Hi, Susan.
Oh,
But
see, I didn't have that. I had great parents that, you know,
Oh,
you don't want to.
mine were amazing.
Yeah, that's
They
what
should have bit my head off a long time ago.
you don't want to look. You don't want people to look bad on what you do reflects your parents. So you don't want it to look bad on them either.
yeah,
But I also tell people all the time, and I still tell them to this day, how I am and how I act and what I say and what I do not reflect that on my parents. This is not how
Yeah.
they raised me. This is who I made me into, and the world made me into by the
And
choices,
Well, and it is the
decisions, and my
world.
And the
experience.
perfect example of that is his mother, God love her heart,
Rest in peace, Mama.
was very much Baptist,
Southern Baptist.
Southern Baptist.
Very
Okay.
Southern Baptist.
And did not believe in what we do.
We're chasing the devil.
Yeah. So,
You demon
So-
chaser, you.
Yep.
so when we moved into the location that we lived at,
Post-town school.
that was very active, she wasn't going to come see us.
Nope.
I'm not going there. I'm not going. Well, she finally decided that she wasn't going to let
Some superstition.
some superstitious building keep her from her family. So she came
Go
to see
her.
us. Well, we were sitting. She was sitting in a chair. She was sitting in a chair in the kitchen,
Oh no.
and we
We're on the other side of the kitchen. One of those concrete nails.
you know,
those
the
square
big,
concrete
the
nails.
old square concrete nails. One
Yes.
came out, literally, we watched it, came out of the wall
She said
and flew
6
and
feet
then
or so against from the wall in the middle of the room.
and skittered across the floor in front of her. And all she said, she is, how peculiar, and just went on. And we were looking at each other like,
And-
oh my God, did you see that?
And did what?
That would be an
Dis-
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
She went on, said, how peculiar, did what? Dismissed it.
Oh yeah, very
Completely
dismissal.
dismissed it.
Nothing.
But my pay grade, but my reasoning, don't care about it. Not my problem with it.
That's great. That's
Completely. That's how I used to be. Completely dismissive.
yeah. Well,
It's just a simpler way of doing things. But yeah,
hey
it was,
Frank.
yeah. But Teresa, no, Teresa's always worried, and she still does. She's still worried about what people think. I'm like, tell them if they got a problem with you, come talk to me about
I'm
it.
getting better. It's hard.
And nobody ever
It
comes to talk
truly
to me
is.
about
Well, it is a whole different, I mean, same background as far as, you know, you don't do that.
Right.
But now I went kind of when I was a younger parent, okay, I went kind of gung ho the other way. Like, yeah, I don't give a tiny rat's ass what you think of me because you will not be rude to my children or whatever. And I'm still that way to an extent, but I went very assertive. The aggressive toned down and the assertive took over. And
Right.
so, do I tolerate fools gladly? Not even a little bit. Will I shut somebody up if I need to? Well, absolutely, I will. But most of the time, they won't know that I did it until after they've walked away and they wonder why they feel like that.
My dad
you know.
says it's a way of telling somebody to go to hell that they look forward to the trip.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
but that's a. We always said that's an Irish gift. You know,
Well, I
Irish
have
is,
that too.
and I have
I
that
have
ability.
Irish, Scots, and Cherokee. So, and
But
Porch Creek.
my thing is with my ADHD, I don't have the time and patience for it. I just rather tell you to go to hell, and be done with it.
Well,
So
I
much
have-
easier, to the point.
I have ADD because the hyper side kind of wore itself out.
Not yet.
But I do have ADD, and it's very interesting
It's,
because
mine
I
just
still
came
get
back.
to fixate stuff. Yeah, like I'll lock down and fixate on something because that's how I. Anyway, but when I will fight battles, but a lot of times I just don't have patience to put up with anybody's crap, and I'll just stop them. And we were on a tour in Scotland 2-3 years ago, and it was a horrible, horrible tour, and it was terrible because I'd promoted the fire out of that thing. Well, there were no beds, there were no rooms. I got dumped on the side of a road in a nasty hotel that had bed bugs with my travel partner, and nobody knew where we were.
Oh shit!
So-
I'll be so mad.
And I was just
Uh-huh.
like, well, my friends started panicking. I'm like, we don't have that luxury. We can't just run off into the night. We were there. The British
Right.
Open had just finished. There were no rooms. I mean, it was crazy. And so I'm just like, we're not moving until somebody knows what's happening. So that worked out. And so, that person that ran that tour tried to step into my face because she stomped her foot at me, like coming at me. And I was like,
Sorry.
you're the stupidest person I've ever met in my life. So anyway, I will say that if you ever want to go on tours, don't look for Mysterious Adventures because you won't get one.
Oh, it's mysterious, all right.
Yeah, well, it's mysterious how anybody can be that stupid and still manage to try to run a business. But I guess everybody learns.
Well, have you seen how many things I've tried?
Well, the husband tried to stomp like at Rick McCollum, and that was never going to be a good idea. So, it's just like two separate instances. So, but that's the difference because the Southern in me was like, don't slap this person sitting here in the middle of Stirling Castle. People will talk. You might go to jail in a Scottish jail. We'll just handle this,
Yeah.
So,
and
but see, my philosophy is because after I got a little bit older and stuff, because my family's like Southern Baptist, I ran around a lot of years running around with outlaws, rednecks, and bikers and stuff. So I have the mentality of memories are a lifetime, jail's temporary. Slap that bitch in the mouth.
yeah. Well,
We're swinging.
it was like a frog hair. It was just like that close.
Yeah.
So, but by the same token, the energy that surrounded my second trip, which we all decided we'd had such a bad time that we went and took ourselves and hooked up with
Okay.
our friends in Scotland and went from pillar to post. It was fantastic. And
Better that way.
it is better that way because you don't have people that are trying to be, better than they are or trying to be that person.
They're
right?
just being people. They're being themselves.
You're just being yourself. You're
thing and not
having
a
a good
business
time. You're having experiences. It would be like if I came up there and investigated with y'all, we'd just go off and we'd have so much fun and we'd go to these places and we'd do these things. And that's what it's supposed to be like. The camaraderie and the
Right.
friendship and the, everybody knows where everybody stands. It's just, y'all are so fantastic about stuff like that. But
We
Yeah.
love doing stuff with other people.
you do, and you're great at it.
It doesn't matter. It's for our team, Hindsight Paranormal. It's
Mhm.
just the two of us.
Yeah.
Well, no, it isn't. Jason's a part of Hindsight.
Well, that's true. That's
and
true.
we're part of LAP.
We're part of LEP. That's right.
It's
Yeah.
never just the two of us.
But we never,
And he's never alone.
we don't do things just the two of us. Yeah, it's the best investigating with great people.
Tanya's our safety coordinator. Jason's
That's
wife.
Jason. No, that is Jason.
That is
Well,
Jason.
Yeah, but I'm saying Tanya, he's on his wife's thing. That's Jason's wife. She's our safety coordinator.
Oh, it's good to have that.
Well,
She does not investigate.
and she's very particular about things and
Yeah.
I know, Jason, I just want to give you a hard time, man. You can sit there and be your wife. We like her more anyway. But yeah, she cracks me up because she's our safety coordinator and she's like Jason, Jay, Jay, you guys should be doing that. She's definitely like 911 ready to go at any second. I'm like, dude, we got to act like that. I get hurt, she gets paid.
I get
Everybody's
paid.
happy.
It's all good.
I don't care.
You guys.
It's the truth. We keep Aflac for a reason because I'm an idiot. 56 years old, I still don't know how to stop doing dumb things.
Oh, please. If we ever stop doing dumb things, we're going to be dead.
Exactly.
I'm okay with dead. I'm okay
He'll
with dumb
still do it
things.
then. He'll still do them then.
I tell people all the
Well,
time. they
yeah,
ask me-
because we're going to be the pranksters. I'm going to
Well, I
be
tell-
goosing people.
Well,
I'm
you
going to
tell
be
Tina
like,
that.
Yeah, I told Teresa's friend Tina. She's like, we was all talking one time about why we paranormal investigating. I said, well, I'm going to find out if there's really a way to stay, and if there is, I want to stay. And I said, trust me, your showers are going to be the same for a little while. She goes, you're an idiot. What are you going to do? Slap me?
say, no, I'm going to goose you.
Right.
Every
I'm
time
gonna
Jason
slap
goes up
you,
the
I'm
stairs
gonna
to the
goose
basement, I'm going to goose his ass. You can bet on that. He'll know that I'm there. He'll be go up the stairs from his basement. He'll go, oh, damn it, Jay, go home.
Right. What are you doing here?
There's so many things. What is the first thing you're going to do?
Well, when I die?
Yeah, when you get back and you're, horsing
Oh,
around.
shit, they're serious.
Yeah.
They really meant at that time that I was pushing my limits again. Oops. Wonder what dumbass thing I did to get here.
I did not think that was going to end this way.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know what I would do first.
Come investigate the ghost of Charleston. Charleston's an amazing place. I would love to spend more time. We were there
We were
twice
there twice.
when we were younger,
We stayed on Folly Beach.
a lot younger.
This has been 25 years ago,
But yeah,
and absolutely loved it.
I love it down south.
But we weren't
We weren't into investigating.
weren't
back
into
then. You were into the
investigating
paranormal stuff like that. I was. I was still my.
because I'd seen things since I was little, but
Yeah.
you hadn't. So we didn't.
Had I and just dismissed
Well,
it.
that's true. You could have, but we didn't.
Exactly, Joe.
We took a couple of tours, but now we would be like, oh, is there a haunted tour we can
There's
take?
definitely haunted tours.
And there are.
That's what we would
There are.
now. We would be doing that now. It's like, okay, we took the other kind of tours before, but now we'd be like, isn't there a haunted tour somewhere we can take? That's
we didn't get to
more
reality.
along us.
We did the whole
We did
carriage
the
rides
Joe.
in downtown and did the open air
Open air
market
market.
downtown, and I had a pigeon
That
shit down my
was-
back, and it was just
That
great.
was funny.
You had
That
what
was-
down your back?
A
A
pigeon.
pigeon.
I walked out of the open air market downtown. It used to be the old stable area and stuff. They had an open
Yeah.
air market. And I walked out from one building to the other. And I was standing at the end of it and stuff, waiting for Teresa and her mom and her grandmother and all them to get caught up and stuff. And all of a sudden, the pigeon takes off. I feel something hit me on the shoulder, go down my back. Teresa comes over, and I was so mad. My face would be red. I said,
So what is wrong?
tell me, there's a bird shit going right down my back. And sure as the world did. And it hit my shoulder and went right
It
down
just
my
splattered
back. I,
Oh
Ran.
no!
I was hostile the rest of the day.
Yuck.
I was livid.
Well,
I
I
swear
mean,
to God,
it's
I
a
would kill
bird.
every pigeon I could find. And if I couldn't find that one, I'd kill every one of its relatives. Did
You
I?
freak.
We laughed so hard.
What?
at
It's called
him.
squab. You eat that. It's good.
Well, that's true. But I do like chicken too. So, well, what do you Allie was like? So you didn't go to the jails because
No.
you weren't.
At that time we didn't know anything about any of that kind of stuff. We were doing the typical touristy stuff. We went
Yeah.
over to the
to
battleships
the
and all that
battleships
stuff,
and
and
did
I mean, we
that.
did all the typical. But that was 25 years ago, so we were total. Not even into paranormal or anything like that. She was. I wasn't. I was like, I'm not going to that bullshit. It's all fake. It's just your imagination. I've seen
Well,
too many things.
did her imagination ever surprise you?
I've seen too many things
When you
now.
didn't
too,
believe
since
in
just
it?
imagination. No, I said it isn't for me to know.
He dismissed it.
My thing is being Southern Baptist. And my dad and them always said the thing about there's things in this world that we're not meant to understand. It's in the Bible about how we're not meant to understand certain things. So basically, it's above my pay grade, not my problem.
Right.
So if it's above my understanding and my knowledge, it's above my pay grade. It is of mine to worry about. As far as the chain of command, kick it up the chain of command, get back to doing my job. Stay
There you go.
focused, stay on what your
Yeah.
task. Stay focused, stay on your task, stay on your duty. That's just the way it was. That's what we did. We had animals to take care of. We had farm to raise. We had my
Mhm.
crops plant. Had to go to school. My uncle had 150 head of dairy cattle. We had milk twice a day. That was life. And you stayed focused. You take care of what you could take care of. And you worry about what you could take care of. And if you couldn't take care of it, you passed to the next person who could take care of it. You did your job. So I never made fun of it. I just dismissed it.
Right.
He didn't have time
Stay
for
focused. Stay
Yeah.
focused on what you're supposed to take care of. Period. Do your job. Take care of what you're supposed to take care of. So that was the way of looking at things without ever making fun of it. So that's when I talked with Joe, and then him introduced me, and him Brian tell me that totally opened up a whole floodgate for me. And it wasn't about 2 weeks later after we was in the paranormal there that I met Jason, and he's one of the first teams that actually allowed me and Teresa to actually stay and investigate with them, to actually learn from people with his LAP paranormal, which is Lake Erie Paranormal was the team that he had and still does. But at that time, it's all current and former law enforcement. So they was coming out from a different perspective, from the whole investigative side that way. And of course, we clicked immediately and became close
Sure.
friends.
Yeah, that would match.
Been together ever since, but it was talking with people like that and yourself to get me to eventually. And Callie Sherrill was a big influence on looking at some
Yeah.
things. Frank was a great influence on things. I used to talk with him quite a bit, and we kind of over the years here lately kind of lost our contact and stuff. And we still follow each other on Facebook, and I'm like, it's nothing wrong. Just he got busy with his life and got married, and I've been
Yeah.
busy with my life raising a kid. Life happens. It's nothing bad, but he still wanted.
Life does happen.
Yeah, and it's nothing bad about it. It's nothing against him. And he had his life to live, and I had mine. But we still follow each other, and still like each other, and we still comment on things with each other once in a while. I still share a lot of his posts because he's hysterical to me. I think that's most of his posts are absolutely hysterical, but they're on a different level of humor.
But
If
he
you
does have a different level of humor.
if you're looking for slapstick humor, I love that too. I love Abbott Costello and all that stuff. But he
Yes.
also has the intellectual humor, and I enjoy the shit out of that too because it makes you think. It makes
Yes.
you enjoy the laughter, but also goes, you know what? There's a nugget of truth to that. There's a
Yes.
nugget of truth that there's a nugget that could possibly be true. So now, tickles your funny bone, but also stimulates your mind. And that's a different kind of humor all in its own right. I love that kind of humor. And
I love
Frank's
it too.
great for that. Frank's absolutely wonderful for that.
Well, and it's since he started back to school, he was so busy.
Yeah.
And then fell in love and so busy. And but he really is. He's just a great human.
Yeah, he is. I know if I hit him up right now and say, hey, man, I got a question, like, how can I help you?
Yeah.
He's just one of those people that I've networked with
That's true.
that you don't have to talk to all the time to know that they're always there.
Yeah.
And it would be the same way if he hit me up, hey, man, I got an idea to run by. I'm like, okay,
What we got?
what do you want to do? I'll do
And
it.
it's going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
And he also knows that, like, and we get shirts made up. Jason and I and Joe for LAP Production, we get shirts made for Brian Emergency Paranormal Crash Test Dummies because that's what we are. We will test and practice any theory that we can. Jason makes custom Ouija boards for years. We got 8 of them here. He's got like 40 or 50 of them there for a while in his house. We experiment with different things with the Ouija boards. Everything that you're not supposed to do with them, looking through the planchette, everything, we've done it.
yeah,
Leave
that's
the plan-
fun though.
It's a communication tool.
It's just like it's no different than a K2 or an Ovilus.
It's
or
your
not that.
intent. It's your intent and your energy and what you're looking for. If you look for that, even in the day-to-day life, every day, if I walk into a bar and I act like a cocky little badass, I'll find a fight. If I go in there and
Yeah, you
mind my
will.
stuff business, I'll be left alone. If I go in there laughing and joking and have a good time, I'll laugh and joke and good time with everybody around me. If it's true the spirit of an actual human being that we're talking to the experience with, and if we are, and everybody says in the paranormal, you're going to be the same on the other side as what you're on this side. Majority of people are
Pity
good-natured people that have
Right.
bad days. So therefore, the
Yes.
spirits are the same thing. Good-natured people that have bad days. Period.
And that's actually the best way I think to look
Can't
at it
choose a damn
because
paperweight.
yes. I really do think that
Exactly, Tanya.
yeah. Life is
Who's gonna
what you
hit
put
me?
into it. So is the
Absolutely.
paranormal. Death is,
Absolutely.
life is. And we are just about out of time. So would you tell people? I already know, so it wouldn't be a trick to tell me, but just tell people what the best ways are to find you if they have questions and how to watch Dark Realm TV.
I'm gonna go with Dark Realm right off the bat because that's our baby right now. And,
Yes, it
and
is.
it is out on Roku. It is only $4.99 a month. If you can get a yearly subscription, $49.99. We give you 2 months for free, and Roku's also giving you a month free. So if you get a yearly subscription, you're getting 13 months. We're getting new shows all the time. We're getting new episodes of the shows that's already on there, adding to it. If you have a show, if you have a podcast, if you have a horror movie that you filmed, if you have anything with paranormal, whether it be cryptid, ufology, urban legends, urban explorations, it doesn't matter. If you're looking for someplace to put it, come hit us up. Come talk to us. You can find us on Dark Realm TV Facebook page, Instagram. You can also find us on our personal pages, Jason Schneider, Joe Kudo, myself, LEP Productions, because that's our production company. We are always busy and we're always looking for new things. We built this channel to promote the paranormal community and to bring people together. That's what we're about. That's what we want it about. We want to continue to make it grow. We want to give back to the community. Like once it gets going good and we're able to send people to investigations to film, or we're able to help people get to conventions and stuff, that's what we want to do. It's not about us lining our pockets. It's not about us and our egos. It's about building the community that we all say we want, and a place for people to have that outlet to give that information out for not only other paranormal people to find, but also for the general public to see exactly who you are, what you are, and how you do things. We're here for the community. We want to build a community. We're going to continue to build this community in a positive light in the way that it needs to be done.
Yes,
I
Joe.
love that. I love that. It's so important. Everybody gives lip service. So few people do it. Thank you for doing it.
We put our money where our mouth is. We did. We got tired of we told each other it's time to nut up or shut up. Quit talking it and be about it. Make it happen.
And as Jason said, help us and subscribe.
Right. And
Sure.
and we're really close to getting launched on. We already are on Roku. We should be up and going in the next couple weeks on Fire Stick.
My
Then
gosh.
we will be going to applying for Apple TV. They are the 3 largest streaming platforms in the world. Roku is the largest. That's why we went with them first. So
Y'all are amazing.
yeah, if you have anything, and like I said earlier, we don't own your content. We're not going to tell you how to film your content. We're not going to tell you how to edit your content. It is your story. You tell your story your way. We will not tolerate any kind of racism or anything like that. We want everybody to be good to each other. Be
Well, that's
supportive
what
of
it's
one
about.
another.
That's what communities
Absolutely.
do.
One of our shows that we have on there that a network's already wanted to have, and they try to restrict them. We have a Native American paranormal investigating team doing it by their rights and their rituals. The networks wanted them to film the rituals, and they said some of our rituals we can't because of our customs, our police. They said you film everything, or you can't put your stuff on our show. And we said, no, you don't have to do that with us. It's your rituals, it's your rights, it's your beliefs, it's your customs. Honor your stuff and tell your story.
Yeah.
Exactly how we're doing every bit of this. Fire Stick may
Perfect.
be sooner than that. Okay, so it might not be 2 weeks. It's probably going to be less than 2 weeks. Tanya told me. He's
Maybe
going to
sooner.
kill me. He's going to kill me.
All right. Well, we are out, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank
For
you.
everybody listening, thank y'all too. Y'all are the reason that we do these shows so that we can bring you fun people and interesting stuff.
It's
And
fun.
you know what? Come sign up on Roku. You're going to love
Absolutely.
it. Dark
And
Brown
you'll
TV.
see Fate Magazine.
And you'll see Fate Magazine.
That's
And
right.
maybe Paranormal Experienced. And I know that you're going to be seeing Paranormal Pride. There's all kinds of shows there that you're going to love. So come and join us. And thank you so much. Good night. Namaste.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.